Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of upcoming episode of Swallowed Star 2 Land of Origin based on novel. So let's start. Following Luo Feng's transmission, Morosa and Moyu Qingyang both quickly rushed towards the cave mansion. Master, your retreat this time was far too short. Morosa returned first, alighting nearby with some dissatisfaction. The carefree and comfortable days were too fleeting. Luo Feng glanced at him. The duration of a retreat naturally varies. Do you still have enough cosmic sand on you? Master understands me, said Morosa, smiling generously. Indeed, I'm almost out. Use it sparingly. Luo Feng tossed over a ink jade bottle. Catching the ink jade bottle, Morosa examined the contents and found over 100 cosmic sand and several piles of primal chaos crystals. His smile brightened considerably. Master is truly benevolent. There is no one more benevolent than Master in the whole Huyang city. All right, no more flattery. Luo Feng smiled. He had forbidden Morosa from causing trouble, and without any income, Morosa needed some pocket money. At this moment, Moyu Qingyang also returned, piloting his small flying boat. Stowing it away, he flew swiftly to Luo Feng and bowed respectfully. Master. This period must have been quite enjoyable for you as well, Morosa said from the side. Many forces took the initiative to befriend me, and certainly, forces have done the same with you. Yes. Moyu Qingyang replied respectfully. During Master's retreat, some powers within Huyang City were unable to visit you, Master, so they came to befriend me. I rejected and ignored many, but I dared not refuse the 13 major forces, and I accepted the gifts they gave me. The total value adds up to about 300 cosmic sand. After all, he was just a servant, and the gifts from each power were not too costly, but given Luo Feng's status, those major forces had to give at least 10 cosmic sand each. Qingyang has gathered so much. You must have received even more, right? Luo Feng looked at Morosa. Just now you said you were almost out. Morosa smiled generously, accepting the gifts, and as for the favors they requested, he pushed them all away cleanly. You know, Master, living expenses in Huyang City are somewhat considerable. Did they give you these gifts under any pretense or for favors? Luo Feng asked. Nothing at all. Morosa said, I just gave them a transmission token imprint. In case of any issues, they could contact me, and I could report their requests to you, Master. I also didn't agree to anything. Just provided a way to send messages. Moyu Qingyang added, however, Brother Zhuyu from the Zhu clan, an eternal true god, asked me to convey a message. He wishes to host you, Master. Luo Feng nodded. The Zhu clan is indeed the largest indigenous family in Huyang City. It might be worth meeting them. Shall I inform Divine Monarch Zhuyu? Moyu Qingyang asked. Yes. Luo Feng nodded. Moyu Qingyang immediately contacted Zhuyu with the transmission token, and soon after, said, Master, Divine Monarch Zhuyu has invited you to meet tonight at the Dream Flower Tower. I haven't visited the Dream Flower Tower in a while. Luo Feng nodded, accept his invitation. While Luo Feng emerged from his retreat, Gao Shui went to visit his master Moli Xiao in the Moli clan. How have you been progressing with the three-sword sky-splitting beast? Moli Xiao looked at his favorite young disciple. The three-sword sky-splitting beast, truly an eternal level mechanical flow secret treasure. I've only just barely managed to perform all the maneuvers of the three-sword sky-splitting beast after my studies, Gao Shui replied. Moli Xiao nodded at his reply. Your will is extraordinary, and you are also adept at formations. Just a short while after becoming an eternal true god, you have completely mastered all the maneuvers of the three-sword sky-splitting beast. I indeed did not misjudge you. Master, as a newly promoted eternal true god, I was appointed as one of the 10 commanders of the Huyang Guards. Many eternal true gods are dissatisfied with this, Gao Shui said in a low voice. The 10 generals of the Huyang Legion and the 10 commanders of the Huyang Guards were all capable of leading a legion-level mechanical flow treasure. Moli Xiao himself led one of the legions. Thus, there were only 19 coveted spots available. Strength represented power, as well as resources. The competition for the 19 lucrative positions was fierce. Eternal true gods from the 5 great families themselves, along with those attached to the 5 great families, amounted to over 100 eternal true god. One can imagine how fierce the competition was. For Gao Wu Shui, a newly advanced eternal true god, snagging one spot naturally attracted the dissatisfaction of many eternal true gods. Don't bother with those losers, Mo Li Xiao said indifferently. A legion-level mechanical flow treasure also depends on who operates it. Like me, leading one legion, I can suppress the collective effort of the other 9 legions. At the level of a true god of void space, your spiritual will reach the pinnacle of an eternal true god, and you excel at formations. You're naturally suited to operate mechanical flow treasures. Once you've accumulated enough experience, I will find an opportunity for you to command one of the Huyang's 10 great legions. Command a Huyang legion? Gao Wu Shui was surprised and felt the pressure. Huyang's 10 great legions are far more important than the Huyang guards. The difficulty of controlling mechanical flow treasures is even higher. You must have sufficient experience, and it would be best if your spiritual will could break through to the primal chaos dominator level. Then the entire city owner's mansion will not object to you leading a legion, Mo Li Xiao advised. Gao Wu Shui nodded, I understand. His spiritual will had reached the level of an eternal true god when he was just a true god of void space. As for the breakthrough to the level of the primal chaos overlord, Gao Wu Shui was indeed determined and eager. Go on. Mo Li Xiao nodded. Out of the many subordinates and disciples he had cultivated, Gao Wu Shui was the most suitable for operating mechanical flow treasures, which was why Mo Li Xiao nurtured him extensively. Gao Wu Shui respectfully excused himself. Walking through a garden in the Mo Li clan's cave mansion, where Mo Li Feiyun and Zhirong Qi had been waiting, they immediately intercepted him. Senior brother Gao Wu. Mo Li Feiyun called out. Gao Wu Shui had no choice but to stop, feeling quite troubled. Having her trained as an eternal true god, he had yet to dabble in romantic relationships. Due to the bloodline cultivation system in the land of origin, most life forms were flesh and blood and could indeed reproduce. However, on the land of origin, life forms generally had very long lifespans, with true gods living for 30,000 epochs, and those of the level of true god of void space and beyond having virtually unlimited lifespans. They did not need to eat or drink, surviving simply by absorbing the power of heaven and earth. Many cultivators had no plans to seek partners. Gao Wu Shui was just like that. Cultivation was filled with endless delights. Why need a wife? Feiyun, Gao Wu Shui could only give a forced smile. He couldn't afford to neglect Mo Li Feiyun, given the grace his master had shown him in training. Today just happens to be the day I've met senior brother Gao Wu. How about we go out and have some fun together? Mo Li Feiyun's mind was all on Gao Wu Shui. Commander Gao Wu, Feiyun almost speaks your name every day, Zhirong Qi said with a laugh on the side. In my opinion, you might as well move to the Mo Li family. That way, you can see each other every day. Yes, move to our place. We have more than 10 eternal true gods living in our household, plenty of room, Mo Li Feiyun said. Just as Gao Wu Shui was about to speak, a young member of the Mo Li family flew over from a distance, scrutinizing Gao Wu Shui. Commander Gao Wu Shui. Young Master Mo Li Lian, Gao Wu Shui said with a smile. Mo Li Lian, what are you here for? Mo Li Feiyun asked dissatisfiedly. Mo Li Lian scoffed. The Mo Li clan was also quite large, and Mo Li Lian was a young genius of his generation, personally mentored by Mo Li Xiao and was regarded as a hopeful to become an eternal true god. But Gao Wu Shui was Mo Li Xiao's favorite disciple. Mo Li Lian had always treated Gao Wu Shui as a rival, and now that Gao Wu Shui had become an eternal true god first and had been promoted to one of the 10 commanders of the Huyang Guards, Mo Li Lian was naturally envious and jealous. Commander Gao Wu Shui detests evil as if it were a personal enemy. I do admire that, Mo Li Lian said with a flip of his hand, tossing a golden pebble. This memory stone records the evidence of the sins of Mei Wu Qi from the Mei Wu family. The evil of Mei Wu Qi, even those dark forces are nowhere near his match. I wonder how Commander Gao Wu Shui will deal with this monstrous criminal. Mo Li Lian. Mo Li Feiyun berated, Mei Wu Qi is an eternal true god of the 5 great families Mei Wu family. If there is to be a trial, it should be the 5 great families who conduct it. There's no need for the Huyang guards to intervene. According to the laws of Yu Kingdom, the Huyang guards are responsible for dealing with illegal activities within Huyang City. I'd like to see if Gao Wu Shui really detests evil as much as he claims to, sneered Moli Lian. Gao Wu Shui received the memory stone and investigated with his divine power. The information he accessed changed his expression slightly. Are these accusations true? Gao Wu Shui looked toward Moli Lian. You're telling me that when the common city Fangju City was breached by a horde of exotic beasts, countless citizens died or were injured, and you say billions of true gods were taken into his sinful city? Zhujiang Primal Chaos Prefecture had 3 large cities and 189 ordinary cities. The presence of eternal true gods within ordinary cities was rare, making them much less secure. You've only just become an eternal true god. If you were older, you'd slowly come to know. Moli Lian shook his head. Mei Wu Qi, to show off, took many young members of the 5 great families into his secret treasure sinful city. Quite a few youths from the 5 great families have seen it with their own eyes. The billions of true gods from Fangju City, they're just a part of the sinful citizens of the sinful city. Of course, most of the citizens captured into the sinful city have long been tortured and played to death, Moli Lian scoffed. Such a figure of sin, Commander Gao Wu Shui, what do you plan to do? Gao Wu Shui said nothing and walked away. Detests evil like an enemy? I'd like to see how he really faces off against Mei Wu Qi of the Mei Wu family. Moli Lian watched him leave, full of contempt. Moli Lian, what exactly are you trying to do? Moli Feiyun couldn't believe it. Don't you see? I'm just stirring the pot, setting Gao Wu Shui against Mei Wu Qi, Moli Lian stated. Whether one or the other falls, it would delight me. I'm going to tell father about this, Moli Feiyun said. Suit yourself. Moli Lian turned and walked away. Asterisk 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 asterisk. The night fell. Luo Feng, accompanied by Morosa and Moyu Qingyang, arrived at the Dream Flower Tower. Brother Luo He, Zhuyu had been waiting for some time. Brother Zhuyu has arrived quite early, Luo Feng said. Haha, having the chance to host Brother Luo He, of course, I should come early. I have arranged everything for the banquet, please, Zhuyu said with a laugh. His hair was like little snakes, his face adorned with green secret patterns, but his smile was brilliant. Luo Feng and Zhuyu flew together, their servants and attendants following behind. The Zhu clan have been rooted in Huyang City for over 1 million eras, passing down from generation to generation until now. There are hardly any secrets in Huyang City that our Zhu clan isn't aware of, Zhuyu said with a smile. In terms of being well informed, the Flame Wind Pavilion, the city owner's mansion, Shi Kingdom's forces. At least within Huyang City, they probably all fall a bit short compared to our Zhu clan. Luo Feng nodded, this he actually believed. The Zhu clan was too vast, having infiltrated every industry in Huyang City, including high-ranking experts in the Huyang Legion and the Huyang Guards. Who within Huyang City doesn't know of the Zhu clan's reputation? Luo Feng remarked. Lord Luo He, Divine Monarch Zhuyu, the Dream Flower Tower Master personally greeted them. She needed to survive in Huyang City, and she couldn't afford to offend either of the two before her. Shall I call for some music, Divine Monarch Zhuyu? Zhuyu didn't even look at the Dream Flower Tower Master, instead, he smiled at Luo Feng. As long as Brother Luo He wishes to listen, I believe the Dream Flower Tower Master will definitely oblige. It depends on whether Lord Luo He wants to listen or not, the Dream Flower Tower Master said with a light smile. Zhuyu gave an order, and the Dream Flower Tower Master couldn't refuse. It's not necessary, just let Araya come, Luo Feng said. The Dream Flower Tower Master was taken aback for a moment, then smiled. Lord Luo He truly favors Araya. It's because the Tower Master's illusion techniques are too powerful, I can't bear them, Luo Feng said with a smile. Then hurry and have Araya come over, Zhuyu beckoned, leading Luo Feng forward as they continued to fly. The Dream Flower Tower Master looked on in silence. Zhuyu, though seemingly very friendly to Luo Feng, was responsible for handling many affairs of the Zhu clan. The city owner's mansion and Shi Kingdom's forces had to give him some face, and the 18 dark forces wouldn't dare to be enemies with the Zhu clan. Since that last time, Luo He has been unwilling to listen to my illusionary melody. The Dream Flower Tower Master felt somewhat disappointed. She longed to influence Luo He more than Shong Tianyang or Sang Shuiyun did. Dream Flower Tower, besides Luo Feng and Zhu Yu, two esteemed guests, there are two other distinguished guests tonight. Two figures looked out through the palace doors to the outside, noticing Luo Feng and Zhu Yu flying over from a distance. That must be Zhu Yu and Luo He, the man with blue hair exclaimed. Luo, his name is often heard these days. He single-handedly destroyed a Dark Forces faction, killing the Blood Python Association leader, a truly remarkable feat. It's just a Dark Forces faction, after all, another young man in a purple robe scoffed. 19 Dark Forces factions, they sound formidable in name. But don't they have to bow their heads obediently before our 5 great families? Most of the cosmic sand they earn has to be offered to our families. Brother Meiwu, our family is strong, but in terms of individual strength, Lord Luo He is much stronger than we are, the blue-haired man said. Brother Jiang, don't flatter those idlers, Meiwu Qi said indifferently. Even if they have intelligence, and occasionally fortune brings them substantial strength, each step forward is extremely difficult for them. Top-tier inheritances, precious resources, mentors' guidance, they have to fight for every single opportunity. How can they compare with the descendants of our great clans? These resources are ours from birth. The blue-haired man gave a self-deprecating smile and raised his glass. Born with abundant resources, we barely become eternal true gods. In terms of talent, we are far from the likes of Luo He and Zhu Hu. They still have the hope of challenging the primal chaos overlord, while we can't see even a glimmer of hope. The limit of the bloodline path is the primal chaos overlord. We must be very strong in every aspect, and that hope is beyond us, Meiwu Qi said with a laugh, but for the likes of Luo He and Zhu Hu, even risking their lives is in vain. Becoming a primal chaos overlord from an eternal true god is indeed very difficult, the blue-haired man admitted. In the entire land of origin, there are not many primal chaos overlords, and places like the Flame Wind Ancient Country and Thunder Ancient Country, along with some terrifying forces, are better at nurturing strong individuals and are more likely to produce a primal chaos overlord. In the public eye, the probability of a commoner becoming a primal chaos overlord is absurdly low. In the land of origin, we of the royal family and the descendants of the primal chaos clans are born high above. Even when fighting to the death with Sha Kingdom's forces, it is the so-called powerful eternal true gods like Luo He and Zhu Hu who are fighting on the front lines. If we win, we continue to rule Huyang City. If we lose, at worst we leave Huyang City, Meiwu Qi laughed heartily. Our primal chaos clan has also produced a primal chaos overlord, who props up the clan, the blue-haired man said. Luo He, Zhu Hu, and these powerful eternal true gods, they all go to fight to the death. With many top eternal true gods weathered by such life and death challenges, ultimately new primal chaos overlords will rise. But we will never have that opportunity. We have no hope, but they're the ones running out of life, Meiwu Qi laughed uproariously. I've seen far too many of these powerful eternal true gods fall. Luo Feng and Zhu Yu took their seats, while some of the servants they brought sat in a corner. While listening to Araya's illusionary melody, Luo Feng naturally used the Lai Yuan technique's 7 emotions of heart refining technique, thoroughly immersing himself in it. Although he usually maintained the Great Destruction heart refining technique to toughen his will, occasionally practicing the 7 emotions of heart refining technique had a different flavor. This Luo He really enjoys Araya's illusionary melody. No wonder he fell out with the Blood Python Association over this little musician, Zhu Yu observed from the side. After all, as an eternal true god, he wasn't much affected by the illusionary melody. But with Luo Feng closing his eyes and fully indulging in it, it wasn't good for him to speak. When the performance was over. Excellent, 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 Luo Feng opened his eyes. His cultivation journey had naturally left him with many regrets, but in the illusory realm, he could make up for them. The emotional stimulation was extremely intense. Supreme, you flatter me, thought Araya, feeling very grateful for Luo Feng's importance. Naturally, she performed with all her heart. Luo Feng's esteem had caused her value in Dreamflower Tower to surge, with her performance fee being a full 10 times what it used to be. And there was no one daring to harass her either. Even the Thousand Leaves Vine clan backing her had much easier days within Huyang City. Apparently no force wished to become the next Blood Python Association. You've made significant progress. Keep it up, Luo Feng smiled and said. With the assistance of the 7 emotions of heart-refining technique, the strength of Araya's illusionary melody was indeed very suitable. Yes, Araya will take her leave, the little musician respectfully withdrew. Zhu Yu watched the scene and said with a laugh, Brother Luo, he is indeed benevolent, taking such good care of a mere little musician. Ha 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 ha. Luo Feng laughed, I was immersed in that illusionary melody just now, neglecting Brother Zhu Yu. I was also enjoying the illusionary melody, Zhu Yu said. Brother Luo, how well do you understand Huyang City? Only a superficial knowledge, Luo Feng replied. Shang Tianyang had given him an overview of all the forces in Huyang City, including introductions to a large number of eternal true gods, which was all basic information. Detailed intelligence, especially on an individual eternal true god, was extremely expensive. Brother Luo, after all, has been in Huyang City for only a little more than a century. It's still a short time, Zhu Yu said. Give it time, and naturally, you'll understand a lot of the secrets. I haven't been in Huyang City for long and have only had a conflict with the Blood Python Association. I haven't crossed paths with other strong individuals, Luo Feng said. You indeed had only one conflict, but it resulted in the complete annihilation of the Blood Python Association. Zhu Yu smiled. Now the 5 great families and Shi Kingdom's forces are all eyeing you. Oh! Luo Feng listened attentively. The city owner's mansion and Shi Kingdom's forces are fiercely battling, but both sides will use other strong individuals to fight to the death for them, Zhu Yu said, offering some benefits to entice outside powerhouses to help is their common practice. Brother Luo, with your strength, both sides will definitely want to win you over. My recommendation is, help out with the easy tasks to get some benefit. But when it comes to big trouble, it's better not to get involved, Zhu Yu said. Preserving oneself is more important. Makes sense, Luo Feng nodded. In the entire Huyang City, besides the city owner's mansion, the 5 great families, and the forces of the Shi Kingdom, there are still our third-party forces, Zhu Yu said quietly with a smile. In terms of the number of eternal true gods and the most top-notch powerhouses, it is our native families and local forces that are truly the strongest. Luo Feng nodded slightly, his stance seemingly relaxed, but he acknowledged the substantial overall strength, among which many hidden dragons and crouching tigers lay hidden. Brother Luo, you are not a member of the 5 great families. Even if you align with them, you are just working for them. The Shi Kingdom's forces care even less about the lives of their henchmen. Zhu Yu looked at Luo Feng. You were born to be on our side. There's truth in that, Luo Feng nodded. Zhu Yu laughed heartily upon hearing this. We are the true force to reckon with. What difference does it make to us native families and native forces, no matter who rules over Huyang City? To the godly king and primal chaos overlord, perhaps they care deeply about the loss of offerings. But for us, it's all the same, we still have to pay a hefty fee. So no matter how fiercely the city owner's mansion and the Shi Kingdom's forces fight, we all need to cherish our own lives. Zhu Yu shook his head. They have never cared about our life and death. Luo Feng nodded. Brother Zhu Yu speaks wisely. As long as we are united enough, we will be the strongest force. Both the city owner's mansion and the Shi Kingdom's forces can only try to bribe us, but dare not coerce us, Zhu Yu said with evident confidence. Suddenly, a powerful disturbance faintly arose from the outside world. What's going on? Luo Feng and Zhu Yu looked through the hall doors and saw that in the distant sky appeared a 3-sword sky-splitting beast, and riding on the surface of the beast was the leader of the Huyang Guard, Gaowu Shui. Mei Wuqi and Jiang Chengyu arrived at the entrance of the hall with some confusion, and upon seeing the mechanical flow secret treasure 3-sword sky-splitting beast descending outside the grand hall, they sensed ill intentions. The Dream Flower Tower is a place of enjoyment, yet Commander Gaowu has come with the 3-sword sky-splitting beast. Mei Wuqi looked at Gaowu Shui. Commander Gaowu, what brings you here? Commander Gaowu, come in and have a drink, the rest of the Huyang guards can rest alongside. My treat, the blue-haired man Jiang Chengyu said with a smile. Gaowu Shui spoke coldly. Mei Wuqi, the Huyang Guard has received evidence of your crime in capturing a large number of citizens of Huyang City. and of tormenting and murdering the. Now, you need to come with me to the Huyang Guard headquarters. The blue-haired man was shocked. However, Mei Wuqi's face darkened, and as his aura stirred, the night seemed to grow darker. He spoke hoarsely, "Commander Gaowu, I am Mei Wuqi of the Mei Wu family. Are you sure you want to arrest me? Isn't there some kind of misunderstanding?" Jiang Chengyu also chimed in. "It is my duty as a member of the Huyang Guard to arrest you," Gaowu Shui said, looking at Mei Wuqi. "Mei Wuqi, come with me. You rely on us, the 5 great families, but now you turn against us and bite the hand that feeds you." Mei Wuqi sneered. "Gaowu Shui, I'll report this to the city owner's mansion right now. I want to see how they deal with this. How the city owner's mansion deals with me is a matter for the future. Now, you need to come with me," Gaowu Shui said coldly. "I am going to count to 3, and if you resist, I will have no choice but to take action by force. 3, 2. Gaowu Shui did not waver. Boom. A deep purple serpentine exotic beast wove through the void and appeared out of nowhere above the Dreamflower Tower, causing many patrons of the establishment to exclaim in surprise. Luo Feng and Zhu Yu also watched all this from afar. Commander Gaowu really is formidable. He's starting to arrest the eternal true gods of the 5 great families. The deep purple serpentine exotic beast descended slowly, and atop the beast appeared a figure in armor. Even royal descendants and descendants of the primal chaos clan must abide by the laws of the Yu kingdom, Gaowu Shui said coldly. This Mei Wuqi's sins are grievous. He has wrought havoc within Huyang City for many years, harming countless citizens, and his behavior outside Huyang City has been even more unrestrained. Just during the attack on Fangju City by the exotic beast horde, he kidnapped billions of citizens. The number of citizens he has tortured and killed tallies in the billions. How can such transgressions be taken lightly? You're slandering me. As a member of the 5 great families, how could I act so recklessly? Mei Wuqi retorted angrily. The armored figure chuckled lightly. It's often that rumors and slander against the members of the 5 great families occur. Commander Gaowu is after all new to his role as the leader of the Huyang Guard and lacks experience. Whether it is slander, he first needs to come with me to the Huyang Guard headquarters. After we confirm the truth, a decision will be made, Gaowu Shui said. The armored figure stood next to Mei Wuqi, with the serpentine exotic beast's figure behind him. Commander Gaowu, all you need to do is submit the evidence to the city owner's mansion. They will naturally verify the truth of the evidence, and how to punish will also be decided by them. You need not intervene anymore. Gaowu Shui had anticipated encountering significant resistance, but he hadn't expected that he wouldn't even be able to take the first step of taking Mei Wuqi away. Commander Gaowu, there's no need for you to interfere with Mei Wuqi's matter any longer. Return immediately to the Huyang Guard headquarters and submit all the evidence of the crimes you've discovered, came an order from the city owner's mansion. Gaowu Shui felt a chill in his heart and sighed inwardly. Even if I bring him back to the Huyang Guard headquarters, I'm afraid I won't be able to harm him in the least, Gaowu Shui thought to himself. Without a verdict from the city owner's mansion, he dared not kill a member of the 5 great families who was an eternal true god. If he dared to do so, even his master, Mo Li Xiao, wouldn't be able to protect him. His experience in his youth indeed made him detest evil. But he would not accompany Mei Wuqi to the grave over it. I will submit the evidence, and I believe the city owner's mansion will deliver a fair punishment. Gaowu Shui glanced at Mei Wuqi, then turned and flew into the 3-sword sky-splitting beast. Whoosh! The 3-sword sky-splitting beast immediately shot through the void and away. Ha ha ha! Mei Wuqi finally relaxed completely and started laughing. This Gaowu Shui is such an idiot. He still wants to catch me? Luo Feng, watching all this from a distance, was somewhat surprised. Brother Zhu Yu, is what that Commander Gaowu just said true? Fangju City was breached by a horde of exotic beasts, and countless citizens were captured by this Mei Wuqi? Luo Feng asked. He's tormented and killed a countless number of citizens. This number indeed shocked Luo Feng. After all, the laws of Yu Kingdom were quite strict on the surface. It's indeed true. You'll know if you stay in Huyang City for a long time. Mei Wuqi is notoriously insane, Zhu Yu said. In his secret treasure Sinful City, Countless innocent citizens are imprisoned and tormented to death. Over the long years, it's indeed impossible to count. The 5 great families just let him be. Luo Feng frowned. The 5 great families can restrain many dark forces and can be ruthless if someone crosses the line. But they can't be ruthless towards their own people. Zhu Yu shook his head. The insanity of Mei Wuqi has plenty of evidence. If you don't believe me, you can buy information from the Flame Wind Pavilion. Luo Feng was looking into the distance, where Mei Wuqi was talking and laughing with another leader of the Huyang Guard. I want to buy all the evidence of Mei Wuqi's crimes, Luo Feng said through the transmission token, contacting the Flame Wind Association's Dark Hall. All evidence of Mei Wuqi's crimes requires 1 cosmic sand, the Dark Hall responded. Purchase. After Luo Feng bought it, the Flame Wind Association's Dark Hall sent him the detailed evidence. This evidence turned Luo Feng's face cold. Mei Wuqi was even more mad than he had imagined. He was a total lunatic with an utterly twisted and maniacal heart, tormenting those innocent citizens to create sufficiently powerful twisted souls through torment and trampling. Using suffering to create strong twisted souls, according to the records of the Dark Hall of the Flame Wind Pavilion, he has 16 outstanding works. 16 true gods with tormented twisted souls and wills that match eternal true gods, Luo Feng said softly. He even once brought his works to show off in front of me, Zhu Yu sighed. The Flame Wind Pavilion also has a bounty on him. Luo Feng found out about the bounty on Mei Wuqi. The bounty was merely 20,000 cosmic sands. It was probably someone who really disliked him who spent the cosmic sand to offer the bounty. Accept the mission, Luo Feng decided, taking on the task of assassinating Mei Wuqi. Forget about these things. There are so many dark matters on the land of origin, many of which we can do nothing about, Zhu Yu said. It's already not easy for our own families to survive. Luo Feng stood up. Brother Zhu Yu has family concerns, but I am unencumbered. If this matter is brought before me and I turn a blind eye, my heart won't be at peace. These filths ought to be wiped clean. With one step, Luo Feng, whoosh, had already left the hall and was heading straight for where Mei Wuqi was. Zhu Yu was stunned. Luo Feng's actions truly exceeded his expectations. He looked horrified. This is going to be trouble, he muttered under his breath as he immediately rushed out. Divine Monarch Zhu Yu, don't panic, my master is not the impulsive type, Morosa said, picking up the wine jug and standing up as well, utterly calm and composed. What does the master plan to do? Mo Yu Qingyan's heart was tense. He hadn't been following his master for long, but the experiences during this time had been overwhelmingly thrilling. He quickly followed Morosa out. The guests inside Dream Flower Tower were originally watching the excitement. When Gao Wu Shui rode away on the 3-sword sky-splitting beast, they started to head back to their respective halls, believing their excitement had ended. Mei Wuqi was also relaxed, laughing. Such stupidity from Gao Wu Shui makes him unworthy to be the leader of Huyang Guard. The leaders of the Huyang Guard appointed by our 5 great families are naturally meant to protect us, yet he turned against me. When I return, I will push this issue forward, planning by all means to strip him of his leadership position. Such a fool, indeed unfit to be leader of the Huyang Guard, the armored figure nodded. Brother Qianyu, thank you for this, Mei Wuqi said smilingly. Qianyu Chong was an eternal true god affiliated with their Mei Wu family, and he took care of many matters for him. Just then, Luo Feng came walking leisurely from a distance, reaching nearby in just a few steps. Mei Wuqi, Commander Qianyu, and the blue-haired man Jiang Chengyu all noticed the black-haired, sharp-horned man approaching, as by now, Luo his fame within Huyang City was immense. Lord Luo he, Jiang Chengyu called out with a smile. As Luo Feng approached, his gaze swept over Mei Wuqi. I just heard that you, Mei Wuqi, have tortured and killed countless citizens of Yu Kingdom, capturing several billion alone from Fangju City. Such heinous crimes, according to the laws of Yu Kingdom, warrant death. Upon hearing this, Mei Wuqi immediately knew that the visitor had ill intentions. Lord Luo he, you must not spout nonsense, Mei Wuqi said coldly. As Commander Qianyu clearly stated, these are all slanderous fibs. Slanderous fibs? Luo Feng chuckled lightly. There's no need for such ludicrous talk in my presence. Many eternal true gods in Huyang City know of your deed. How many eternal true gods have you personally taken to see your sinful city? Mei Wu Qi was shocked. He had indeed taken many eternal true gods to tour the sinful city and had boasted about it. He believed, even if everyone in Huyang City knew, what could they do to him? Moreover, evidence of your numerous crimes can be easily purchased from the Flame Wind Pavilion. What? Do you think the Flame Wind Pavilion would fabricate evidence to slander you? Luo Feng scoffed. If you could make the Flame Wind Pavilion disregard its reputation specifically to defame you, I actually might respect you. Mei Wu Qi's complexion grew dark. The Flame Wind Pavilion's business spread across a large part of the land of origin, and it valued its reputation highly. They wouldn't bother fabricating evidence, even of a godly king, let alone some of Mei Wu Qi's. Luo He. What does my matter have to do with you? Mei Wu Qi no longer tried to justify himself. Even if I did it, it's none of your business. I'll interfere in affairs if I want to, and won't if I don't feel like it, Luo Feng said casually. It just so happens today I heard about these affairs. I think I should stay true to the laws of Yu Kingdom and send you on your way. Raw tilde. The ever-vigilant Commander Qianyu was greatly alarmed as the Legion-class mechanical treasure Purple Jade Gem instantly shielded both Commander Qianyu and Mei Wu Qi. Its coiling body's deep purple scales sparkled. Luo He, what are you trying to do? Are you planning to kill an eternal true god of the 5 great families within Huyang City, without trial by the city owner's mansion? Commander Qianyu bellowed in anger. Mei Wu Qi was shocked and angry. He had only thought the other was here to provoke, but Luo He had outright stated his intention. Did he not care about the city owner's mansion's dignity at all? When Marquis of Zhujiang and Great Saint Beiyu fought, Beiyu fled, even swallowing all the creatures of the large city Yurong City to absorb energy for regaining his strength, Mei Wu Qi angrily shouted. The beings that Beiyu swallowed in one gulp are many times more than those in my sinful city. Why don't you meddle in Beiyu's affairs? Soon, more and more guests at Dreamflower Tower started paying attention to this scene. Zhu Yu, Dreamflower Tower Master, and Morosa were all watching from not too far away. Divine Monarch Zhu Yu, what is Lord Luo He trying to do? Dreamflower Tower Master was somewhat panicked. I don't know, Zhu Yu shook his head. I can't control Lord Luo He, but I think with the leader of Huyang Guard, Chen Chong, here, the situation shouldn't escalate too much. Dreamflower Tower Master nodded. Commander Qianyu, controlling a Legion-class mechanical treasure, was indeed very powerful. Great Saint Beiyu is still at large, yet you come to deal with this minor issue of mine, Mei Wu Qi said indignantly. Great Saint Beiyu is a primal chaos overlord-level existence. I, an eternal true god, dare not meddle, Luo Feng said placidly. But you, Mei Wu Qi, I can still manage. I am an eternal true god. What's it to me if I kill some weaklings? Mei Wu Qi said desperately. Isn't survival of the fittest seen everywhere in the world? Everyone has their moments of weakness, Luo Feng shook his head. You, Mei Wu Qi, were very weak when you were born. If everyone practiced survival of the fittest, you wouldn't have grown up at all. Mei Wu Qi was taken aback. Even low-intelligence exotic beast species know to protect their young, yet you loudly proclaim the law of the jungle, wantonly slaughtering the weak. You are even worse than exotic beasts. Luo Feng shook his head. The 5 great families will surely thank me when they learn of my actions. As soon as he finished speaking. Not good. Commander Qianyu, who had been on guard, changed color. He instantly reacted, and the huge mechanical stream secret treasure Purple Jade Gem expanded and rolled forward, blocking Luo Feng's strike. Bang! Luo Feng's extended palm struck the massive body of Purple Jade Gem. Purple Jade Gem, commandeered by the top eternal true god Chen Chong and a legion of 1,000 true gods of void space, was a core-class mechanical treasure. Though individually, Chen Chong was naturally inferior to association leader Mu Yang of the Blood Python. Aided by 1,000 true gods of void space and a core-class treasure, the power unleashed by Purple Jade Gem was by no means inferior to Mu Yang driving the Lifeblood River. Boom tilde tilde tilde. The vibration caused by the collision between the palm and the scale-armored body of Purple Jade Gem made the entire Dream Flower Tower tremble slightly, but fortunately, the tower was enveloped in formations, maintaining stability and safety everywhere. They started. Zhu Yu and the Dream Flower Tower Master were both shocked. My brother Luo He, even if you have to kill, can't you do it covertly? How can you strike openly under everyone's gaze? Zhu Yu fretted. Their neutral faction sometimes also made dark moves, but they always did so stealthily, leaving no trace. The leader of Huyang Guard is right beside, and now Lord Luo He attacks the eternal true god of the 5 great families. The Dream Flower Tower Master felt her heart tremble and even feared a little. This was beyond her imagination. Luo He, you have lost your mind. Commander Chen Yu grabbed Mei Wu Qi and instantly merged into the interior of Purple Jade Gem. Brother Mei Wu, hide inside the mechanical stream secret treasure, he cannot hurt you, Commander Chen Yu advised. Mad, he actually attacked me openly within Huyang City. Mei Wu Qi was both shocked and angry. He could not believe that there truly was an eternal true god in Huyang City bold enough to attack him openly. The palm strike from Luo Feng was blocked by the mechanical stream treasure Purple Jade Gem of the Huyang Guard, and the reverberations triggered heavy force dissipation through the formation of Dream Flower Tower, causing many onlookers to retreat further away. Luo Feng looked at his own palm, then at the massive Purple Jade Gem in front of him. Chen Yu Chong, you dare block me? Luo He. The massive Purple Jade Gem's surface revealed Commander Chen Yu's face, who sternly rebuked, I am the leader of the Huyang Guard, and I was right here watching. You dare to disregard the laws and openly attack the eternal true god of the 5 great families. Are you intending to go against the entire city owner's mansion? Seeing this, the blue-haired man Jiang Chengyu spoke up, Divine Monarchs of Luo He and Commander Chen Yu, please, let's calm down and talk this through. Divine Monarchs of Luo He and Commander Chen Yu, please, take a step back, the Dream Flower Tower Master also hastened to speak. If this situation escalated, a total war could break out between Divine Monarch Luo He and Huyang's Purple Jade Gem, which would create a tremendous disturbance, likely reducing the entire Dream Flower Tower to dust. Luo He, you have disregarded the laws and struck out willfully. The city owner's mansion will surely punish you. The face of Chen Yu Chong on the surface of Purple Jade Gem scoffed coldly. Just wait for the city owner's mansion's punishment. Punish me? Luo Feng laughed loudly as his right arm suddenly swelled, divine power ignited, and his aura surged formidably. This made Jiang Chengyu, Zhu Yu, the Dream Flower Tower Master, and many guests feel an oppressive fear. How audacious! Commanding the entire Purple Jade Gem, Chen Yu Chong, with 1,000 true gods of void space, prepared to withstand this fearsome strike. Puff! Luo Feng's arm swelled to thousands of feet, and his hand grew massive like a palm blade, embodying the essence of the blade of life and death, and as the tips of his fingers touched Purple Jade Gem's purple scales, they pierced through like through mud, and instantly penetrated. Prior to this, Luo Feng's palm had been blocked by Purple Jade Gem, causing him to recognize the might of this beast, judging it equivalent to the power of the Blood Python Association leader. His second body refinement of the perfect divine body, wielding the godly king-level legacy Duan Mie and burning divine power, was sufficient to tear apart the Purple Jade Gem barehanded. Whoosh! As his palm penetrated into the body of Purple Jade Gem and retracted, Luo Feng's hand now held Chen Yu Chong. With the capture of Chen Yu Chong, the entire mechanical stream secret treasure Purple Jade Gem, having lost its controller, naturally collapsed, scattering noisily, with Mei Wu Qi and the 1,000 true gods of void space tumbling out. Thousands of true gods of void space who had fallen were somewhat panicked, seeing Commander Chen Yu Chong being grasped by a palm, all they felt was trembling fear. How could Lord Luo He be so strong? Even with the mechanical flow secret treasure Purple Jade Gem, we couldn't defeat him. Without Purple Jade Gem, it's feared that with just a breath, we would all die. These true gods instinctively retreated towards the distance, even burrowing into groups of guests. In the past, patrolling within Huyang City, they were the respected Huyang Guards. But now, they only hoped that Luo He wouldn't vent his anger on them. The astonished Mei Wu Qi, who had fallen out, couldn't believe. This is one of the top 10 mechanical flow secret treasures of the Huyang Guard, Purple Jade Gem. How could it be penetrated by a palm? It's over, it's all over. While finding it hard to believe, Mei Wuqi didn't dare to hesitate, burning divine power to desperately flee for his life. He had never run so frantically in his life. Huff! A gigantic palm swung by in an instant, already enveloping Mei Wuqi. No! A rod-like weapon appeared in Mei Wuqi's hand, striking with thunderous fury, trying to block that gigantic palm. But as soon as the gigantic palm covered it and made contact, it grasped him, the rod not causing even the slightest injury to Luo Feng's palm skin. Luo Feng stood still on the spot, both his hands had returned and shrank back to normal size. And within the palm, both Chen Yuchong and Mei Wuqi were suppressed, their bodies shrunken, appearing like two tiny toys in his hand. At this moment, Jiang Chengyu, Zhu Yu, guests from Dream Flower Tower, and Luo Feng's servant Mo Yu Qingyang were all trembling with shock as they watched this scene, which had a tremendous impact on their minds. Originally, I only planned to kill Mei Wuqi, but now I've caught both. Luo Feng looked down at the two tiny figures in his hands. Luo He, I am the leader of the Huyang Guard. Do you intend to kill a leader of the Huyang Guard within Huyang City? Chen Yuchong looked up at the looming figure of Luo Feng. Lord Luo He, I was wrong, it was all my fault. Mei Wuqi, who was caught, was extremely terrified, pleading urgently, I'm willing to make amends, whatever you ask I will do. Just please spare my life. Both Chen Yuchong and Mei Wuqi were very uneasy at this moment. At this moment, the city owner's mansion and the 5 great families were equally anxious. They monitored the whole city, and since Luo Feng had not used a small cosmic domain to block the investigation, they could see the whole process clearly. They saw Luo Feng's hand penetrate the mechanical flow treasure purple jade general. Well done, Luo He. He can directly crush purple jade general. What should we do now? He has already captured Chen Yuchong and Mei Wuqi. The high-level members of the 5 great families also knew the situation was urgent. Commander Moli, please make a move. It's time for you, Commander Moli, to take action to have any chance to stop Luo He. Inside the city owner's mansion, the high-ranking officials immediately sent a message to Mo Li Xiao. I'm not suitable to take action, Mo Li Xiao refused bluntly. Mo Li Xiao's status was too high, one of the top 2 figures in the entire city owner's mansion. Even the city lord could not force him to act. The officials of the city owner's mansion had no choice but to deploy one of the Huyang legions, the Haiming Legion, to take action. I can move, but I have no confidence in stopping Luo He, General Qiu Yi of the Haiming Legion responded. Quick, quick, set out immediately, urged the side of the city owner's mansion. Over at Dream Flower Tower, many bystanders watched from afar, not daring to get involved, fearing the wrath of the 5 great families. In Huyang City, the 5 great families were as good as heaven. Luo Feng's actions at this moment had indeed provoked them. Luo Feng looking down, holding 2 tiny figures in his hands, Chen Yuchong, I've found that among the crimes of Mei Wuqi, your name has appeared many times. You've helped him capture true gods, you've helped him clean up traces, you've done too much for him. Chen Yuchong was surprised. As an eternal true god affiliated with the Mei Wu family, he indeed did a lot of dirty work for the Mei Wu family. He had also helped Mei Wuqi capture many true gods, because Mei Wuqi himself wasn't meticulous enough, which could lead to trouble. Mei Wuqi, oh Mei Wuqi, if you want to torture and kill many true gods, you should do it stealthily. Why must you bring many friends to visit Sinful City, making it known to all of Huyang City? Now it has even drawn the attention of this Lord Luo He, and even I am suffering because of it, Chen Yuchong lamented in his heart. As an accomplice to Mei Wuqi, according to the laws of Yu Kingdom, you too must be executed, Luo Feng said. Lord Luo He, I know you despise evil, I'm just a subordinate, just a servant of the Mei Wu family, Chen Yuchong said urgently. I've grown step by step from an external tribe until now, please spare my life, I will surely no longer be an accomplice in the future. I captured those true gods only because Mei Wuqi made me do it. Chen Yuchong, I cannot dare to capture so many true gods openly. It's you who came up with ways, it's you who helped me. Now these sins are all being pushed onto my head, Mei Wuqi shouted, Lord Luo He, I. Luo Feng, holding Mei Wuqi in his palm, permeated his divine power, rendering Mei Wuqi unable to speak. Chen Yuchong, I'm telling you this, so you can die with a clear understanding, Luo Feng said, clasping Chen Yuchong's palm slightly, and with a bit of exerted vigor, permeated Chen Yuchong's body and destroyed his true god's heart. Chen Yuchong's eyes widened, at that moment feeling nothing but injustice. He, Chen Yuchong, had struggled every step to climb to one of the top 10 leadership positions of the Huyang Guard. Who would have thought he would encounter such a reckless, powerful Lord Luo, he who blatantly disregarded the face of the 5 great families? He was implicated and died here. Huff. Luo Feng instantly took Chen Yuchong's body into the Star Tower. The bodies still need to be collected properly, can't waste them. From a distance, Morosa saw this scene and immediately cracked a smile, telepathically transmitting, "Thank you, Master. Please also leave Mei Wuqi's body to me. Mei Wuqi's bloodline is certainly extraordinary, the absorption effect must be very good." Master and servant, both were very calm. But the onlookers around them, including Mei Wuqi held in Luo Feng's other palm, were all unable to stay calm. He really killed him. The leader of the Huyang Guard, just like that, killed? Zhu Yu, Jiang Chengyu, Dreamflower Tower Master, Mo Yu Qingyang, along with a large number of customers, all held their breath, and from a distance, the thousands of true gods of void space level Huyang Guards also felt their hearts tremble. This Lord Luo, he is exceptionally tyrannical. Lord Luo, he, indifferent to life and death, strikes as soon as he says he will. I had heard that there are some fierce ones who dare to kill members of the royal family, the Primal Chaos Clan. Today I've really seen it. Those who could afford to patronize the Dream Flower Tower generally had some background and came from various forces within the city. They now watched the event's development attentively and rapidly relayed a great deal of information back to their respective places. The onlookers each had their thoughts, but Mei Wuqi, gripped in the palm of Luo Feng, was truly panic. Watching his accomplice Chen Yuchong die, Mei Wuqi already felt death looming. In desperation, he said, "Lord Luo, he, as long as you spare me, everything can be discussed. Whatever you want, I will do." Boom, accompanied by a terrifying fluctuation descending. Luo Feng looked up and saw in the night sky a vast spherical fortress appearing. The spherical fortress, like a black hole, was swallowing energy, also absorbing light, its might quite fearsome. One of the Huyang's 10 great legions, the Haiming Legion. Luo Feng recognized the newcomer. The Huyang Legion was much stronger than the Huyang Guards. The Huyang Guard Purple Jade Gen that had just been killed was only on par with the Blood Python Association leader, but a single Huyang Legion was far stronger, capable of overwhelming the Blood Python Association leader in a head-on fight. Overwhelming was easy, killing was difficult. It was only because they encountered Luo Feng that the Blood Python Association leader didn't escape. "Lord Luo, he, I ask you to stop." The surface of the spherical fortress showed a three-eyed face. Mei Wuqi is an eternal true god from the Mei Wu family. Even if he violated the rules, he should be judged by the city owner's mansion. You can't take action. Can the city owner's mansion sentence him to death? Asked Luo Feng. The three-eyed face on the spherical fortress replied, "Lord Luo, he, you've blown this matter up too big, and no matter what, the city owner's mansion can't be too biased. Even if Mei Wuqi doesn't die, he will be severely punished. Severe punishment won't do, he needs to die." Luo Feng's lips curved into a smile as he looked at Mei Wuqi in his palm. Spare me, spare me." Mei Wuqi said urgently. "Lord Luo, he, you're in the city. Without the city owner's mansion's trial, you've already killed one leader of the Huyang Guard. If you openly kill an eternal true god from one of the 5 great families, you are stepping on the face of the 5 great families. You should consider the consequences," said the three-eyed face on the surface of the spherical fortress. "What consequences?" Luo Feng said casually, "General Qiu Yi of the Haiming Legion, today Mei Wuqi must die. If you obstruct, then you should think about the consequences." The three-eyed face on the surface of the spherical fortress glanced at the collapsing purple jade gen from afar, understanding the result of obstruction. Chen Yuchong had obstructed. Chen Yuchong had died. This Luo, he is too fierce, his strength is perhaps not inferior to Shuiyun, General Qiu Yi mused silently, having also dealt with Shuiyun, the leader of Shi Kingdom's forces. The city owner's mansion tried everything, with Mo Li Xiao personally intervening, and even mobilizing the Great Formation of Huyang City to assist, in several confrontations with Shui Yun, but they couldn't defeat Shui Yun. And now, General Qiu Yi felt that this Luo He should be no less formidable than Shui Yun. Even if several legions acted together under the leadership of Mo Li Xiao, they might fail to capture Luo He. General Qiu Yi mused to himself, this Mei Wu Qi is mad, committing heinous crimes, and then, fearing that it wouldn't be known, drew too many eternal true gods to witness it. This led to today's catastrophe. General Qiu Yi, save me, save me, Mei Wu Qi inside Luo Feng's palm cried out. He's watching you, the city owner's mansion is watching you right now, Luo Feng said to Mei Wu Qi in his palm, but no one can save you, and anyone who dares try will be killed by me. Anyone daring to save you deserves death as well. Luo Feng spoke word by word. All the bystanders listened, and the senior officials monitoring from the city owner's mansion heard it too. Some were angry, some were as somber as still water, and some shook their heads and sighed. But no one intervened. Die, Luo Feng said to Mei Wu Qi, as an invisible illusory realm instantly engulfed the consciousness of the terrified Mei Wu Qi. This illusion technique was the forbidden move 9 Netherworlds kill that Luo Feng had learned from the 9 Netherworlds. Constructed with his peak primal chaos overlord level spiritual will, this particularly ruthless forbidden move was incredibly powerful when he cast it. Mei Wu Qi, who had been bolstered by resources all the way, naturally had a rather fragile spiritual will and instantly sunk completely. You like to torture countless creatures, don't you? Now, experience the taste yourself. Do you still like it when you are the one being tortured? Luo Feng thought, and instantly pulled Mei Wu Qi into the Star Tower. Inside an empty space within the Star Tower, Mei Wu Qi lay there, writhing in agony, trembling, screaming in terror. Mei Wu Qi's mental endurance was mediocre due to being pampered all his life, and the illusion technique's forbidden move, 9 Netherworlds kill, was too strong under the control and with the construction of Luo Feng's perfect divine power. In the torturous agony, Mei Wu Qi's consciousness disintegrated and he died within just more than 10 breaths of time. Such a weak spiritual will, Luo Feng said, his consciousness enveloping the space and observing everything. That Mei Wu Qi was so useless was within his expectations. Inside Dream Flower Tower. Mei Wu Qi is dead, the Dream Flower Tower Master, Zhu Yu, and Jiang Chengyu all received the latest bounty mission pushed by the Flame Wind Association's Dark Hall. The bounty for Mei Wu Qi was only a mere 20,000 cosmic sand. The 5 great families didn't care about this small bounty either. But now, this bounty mission was completed. Evidently, the Flame Wind Pavilion confirmed. Mei Wu Qi was dead. He really killed Mei Wu Qi. Zhu Yu and the others felt a mix of emotions. The 5 great families, each family having about 10 eternal true gods. These approximately 50 extraordinarily bloodlined eternal true gods were the core high-level individuals of Huyang City. They ruled over Huyang City. And Mei Wu Qi was one of them. The killing of leader of Huyang Guard by Luo Feng had a terrible impact, but killing Mei Wu Qi made the other high-level individuals naturally anxious. If Mei Wu Qi could be killed today, could they also be killed tomorrow? Lord Luo He, I can't stop you, the 3-eyed face that appeared on the surface of the spherical fortress in the high sky lamented, but by killing Mei Wu Qi, you've really made a mistake. Tell the 5 great families, if they want to make a move, just come, I'll take them all on, Luo Feng said, looking up at the sky. The spherical fortress said no more, a formless force wrapped around the disintegrating purple jade gem, and after collecting it, it shifted through the void and left directly. Luo Feng watched this scene from afar. All cleaned up, I feel relieved, Luo Feng said with a smile as he walked towards Zhu Yu. Brother Zhu Yu, do you dare to keep drinking with me? As long as Brother Luo He is willing to drink, I am always ready to accompany him, Zhu Yu laughed heartily. It is truly prestigious to be able to drink with Brother Luo He nowadays. Although the acts Luo Feng had committed were ones that the eternal true gods within Huyang City dared not undertake due to the backing forces they had to consider, it didn't affect everyone's admiration. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Luo Feng, unconcerned about what he had just done, pulled Zhu Yu back to the original hall. Morosa and Moyu Qingyang followed behind. He. Morosa laughed as he walked, feeling very happy. Lord Luo Sa, the master has done such a huge thing, and yet you laugh. Mo Yu Qingyang couldn't help but transmit his voice. The 5 great families probably won't let this go. And so what if they don't let it go? Morosa looked at Mo Yu Qingyang. Mo Yu Qingyang's expression was solemn as he transmitted his voice. There may be a storm of blood and gore. It will be their blood and gore. Morosa stretched out his hand and ruffled Mo Yu Qingyang's head, smiling happily as he transmitted his voice. You'll understand in time, my boy. Their blood and gore. Mo Yu Qingyang followed behind, deep in thought. As Luo Feng returned to the hall to continue drinking, other guests within the Dream Flower Tower grew completely restless. They were either fervently discussing or quickly leaving to report back to their own forces in detail. Meanwhile, the thousands of true gods of void space from the Huyang guards discreetly took their leave. The incidents at the Dream Flower Tower spread rapidly within Huyang City, fermenting. In that hall of the Dream Flower Tower, Luo Feng and Zhu Yu sat opposite each other, drinking and chatting with ease and comfort. Brother Luo He, what you did has truly pierced the heavens in Huyang City. Zhu Yu exclaimed, the eternal true gods from the 5 great families are like the sky of Huyang City, and you've killed one of them. They certainly won't let this go easily. And what can they do if they don't let it go? Luo Feng said, holding his wine cup lightly with a smile, I am openly in Huyang City, and I would like to see what they can do. Zhu Yu could see that Lord Luo He truly wasn't afraid of the 5 great families. I admire that, Zhu Yu sighed. My Zhu clan wouldn't dare to do such things. You have the concerns of a family, so naturally, you need to be more cautious, Luo Feng said with a smile. I am a lone wanderer, now with just 2 servants by my side. I have no ties and can afford to act freely and boldly. Zhu Yu nodded, but brother Luo He, you must be careful. Even if no one within Huyang City can harm you, they might invite strong forces from other places. I have given the city owner's mansion enough respect. Luo Feng poured himself another drink. Tonight I merely killed the deeply sinful Mei Wu Qi and his accomplice Chen Yu Chong, and I didn't touch the other Huyang guards. Even Purple Jade Gen I let them take away. My actions were quite restrained. Even if the news reaches the ears of the primal chaos overlord, they would have to commend me. Commend you? Zhu Yu was taken aback. Luo Feng glanced at him, that you wouldn't understand. The godly kings and primal chaos overlords sit high above, their clans have proliferated over endless years, and the number of clan members is countless. They can't even settle them in their own territories and have to place a large number of clan members in other primal chaos prefectures. For the godly kings and primal chaos overlords, they need the massive resources provided by cities, Luo Feng said. Yes, Zhu Yu nodded. The vast cities, the residence fees paid by countless true gods, maintained the operations of the city owner's mansion, Huyang Guards, and Huyang Legion, and the rest was almost entirely delivered to the godly kings and primal chaos overlords. A single true god pays little, but the massive number of cities in the Yu Kingdom deliver much when combined, Luo Feng continued. That's what the godly kings and primal chaos overlords value most, and so they set laws. They ensure sufficient safety within the cities, convincing countless true gods to willingly pay the residence fees. But Mei Wu Qi, who slaughtered millions of the city's citizens, should the godly kings and primal chaos overlords hear of it, they'd be the first to want to kill Mei Wu Qi. Luo Feng shook his head. By killing Mei Wu Qi, the godly kings and primal chaos overlords would only commend me, not even punish me. Any punishment at all, and they would be mocked by other godly kings and primal chaos overlords in the Yu Kingdom. Zhu Yu's eyes brightened. Brother Luo He, your insight is exceptional, understanding the minds of the godly kings and primal chaos overlords. Indeed, the primal chaos overlords wouldn't intervene in such matters. The clans of the primal chaos overlords are immense. Would the primal chaos overlords intervene in every trivial matter? Are they their subordinates? Luo Feng shook his head. Without a major incident that truly enrages the primal chaos overlords, they will not care. Having the inheritances from both Duandong River and God King Jin, Luo Feng was well aware of some behavioral styles of the godly kings and primal chaos overlords. For those existing at the highest echelons of the land of origin, countless clan members already needed to experience trials and selection. The weak and foolish were weeded out, and only the strong and excellent remained. Luo Feng was right. The primal chaos overlord of the Meiwu clan, even when aware of such incidents occurring in the distant Zhujiang primal chaos prefecture branch of their clan, would verbally commend the killings on his lips. He even sternly demanded that the clan must not commit similar acts again. There are also other places where lone individuals like me reside, Luo Feng said. I consider myself someone who abides by the rules. Yes, I also know that some eternal true gods have passed through cities, killing at will, and the identities of the murderers could not be traced, Zhu Yu nodded. While chatting casually, Luo Feng also diverted his attention to investigate the items left by Meiwu Qi. What concerned him most was the secret treasure Sinful City. The secret treasure Sinful City was indeed personally carried by Meiwu Qi. There are still over 180 million citizens within this sinful city. Luo Feng, with his divine power penetrating, confirmed the number of survivors in an instant, but the scenes within Sinful City made even him shudder. The remaining 180 million citizens, each had endured tremendous torture, many of their spirits were twisted, their auras chaotic and frenzied. ******************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************* Primal Chaos Armor sector within Huyang City were the most expensive, and the dwellings numbered 1 to 5 were owned by the 5 great families. Primal Chaos Armor number 1 and Primal Chaos Armor number 2 were owned by the 2 royal families. Primal Chaos Armor number 3 Cave Dwelling was owned by the most powerful Moli clan. Primal Chaos Armor number 4 Cave Dwelling belonged to the Marquis of Zhujiang clan, with Zhujiang Primal Chaos Prefecture being the Marquis's fief. Even though Huyang City was still managed by the official authorities of Yu Kingdom, the Marquis would demand a large portion of resources and send part of his clan here also to supervise the resources. Primal Chaos Armor number 5 Cave Dwelling was owned by the Meiwu clan, a prominent Primal Chaos clan in the entire Yu Kingdom, boasting 2 Primal Chaos overlords. The family branch dispatched to Huyang City could also rank among the 5 great families. At this moment, within the large cave dwelling of the Meiwu clan, the family's upper echelon had already gathered. 8 figures sat around. Our Meiwu family branch in Huyang City has 9 eternal true gods altogether, and now only 8 remain, the leading black-haired elder, whose body was sprouting some branches and leaves, said. Meiwu Qi was publicly executed. Luo he simply did not regard our Meiwu family at all, he did not even use a small cosmic domain to cover it up, killing Meiwu Qi in broad daylight in full view. For such an insult to our Meiwu family, he must die, said a high-ranking clan member grimly, eyes full of murderous intent. We should invite an expert from our ancestral land to come and kill this Luo he. They were a branch dispatched here, but in the distant ancestral lands, that's where the core of the Meiwu family lies. Nearly 10,000 eternal true gods, nurtured over endless years, included 2 primal chaos overlords, all resided there. The real elites of the Meiwu family indeed had entities more formidable than Moli Xiao. Fools. We can't let this matter leak to the ancestral land. You came to Huyang City just to revel in pleasures, as foolish as Meiwu Qi. How can we inform the ancestral land about this sort of matter? Several high-ranking clan members immediately rebuked angrily. The leading black-haired elder nodded and said, Meiwu Qi massacred hundreds of millions of citizens within the city. It is an irrefutable heinous crime. God kings and primal chaos overlords have decreed that the safety of the citizens within the cities be ensured. Thus, today's matter must absolutely not be reported. Many things, if not escalated, remain minor issues. If our ancestors knew, each of us would be punished. The 8 senior members of the Meiwu family also understood that they were just a very marginal branch within the entire Meiwu clan. If they angered the elders, they might all be taken away to perform laborious and exhausting tasks, and the pleasure of enjoying life in Huyang City would fall into the hands of other branches of their clan. Publicly, we cannot pursue this matter. But secretly, we must let the entire Huyang City know that whoever dares to slap the face of the 5 great families will pay a price. Find a way to deal with him. Even if we can't kill him, we must force him into a miserable hiding, only lurking in the shadows, never daring to appear openly again. If this matter is not resolved, it's not just our Meiwu family that loses face. In the eyes of all parties in Huyang City, Luo he is seen as slapping the face of the entire 5 great families. The other 4 families must also exert their effort. As they discussed, they were engulfed in rage. After all, they had been high and mighty for too long and could not tolerate an eternal true God defying them like this. Suddenly, the face of the leading black-haired elder changed. "This is bad." "What happened?" asked the other 7 family seniors who were discussing. "Luo he has gone mad," the black-haired elder urgently said. "He has released the surviving hundreds of millions of citizens from Meiwuchi's sinful city and set them free in Huyang City." This video will end here.